Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy trash day. It's the day I take out the trash. Um, anytime I remember to take out the trash the night before and I see the trash being taken is a freaking good day. Because there were times I forgot and it just built up all crazy. Then I had to go to the dump. So it's a great way to help my future self. Anyways, I don't know why I'm talking about that. I wanted to talk about a practice that I do when I'm tripping. And you may or may not be able to relate to this. So if you can't relate to this, then this isn't for you. But if you can relate to this, then it may help you because it helps me. When you're tripping, usually it's finances. For me, usually it's finances or relationships. Those two things. It's not necessarily anything past that. And mainly, relationships. Especially if they're romantic relationships. But what's helped me in the past, if you can't sleep. When I can't sleep, I scroll. Right? That was kind of like my go-to for a long time. I would just scroll. Or I'd put on some on TV. Or I'd try to force myself to sleep and toss and turn, maybe to the sound of rain, maybe to the sound of yoga singing bowls, Tibetan singing bowls, which they're, sometimes we'll try something and it'll put us to sleep. And in my active addiction, those two things would help me go to sleep. But keep in mind that I'd be up for days, so it didn't take much to help me fall asleep. But sometimes a go-to practice ends up not working anymore. So what works for me now in this season of my life, which has helped me through a couple seasons over the last year and almost a half, is prayer. And what I mean by prayer is this. When I look up and I say, Lord, please help me stop thinking about this, whatever it is. Please help me stop thinking about this. I don't want to think about this anymore. Please let me sleep. I need sleep tomorrow. And I'm really, genuinely praying for that. For some reason, instead of scrolling, instead of TV, that helps. But sometimes I need to write. And I can't, I tell myself, what you're not going to do is write the what ifs and play that out like I've been doing in my head the whole time. What you're going to do is you're going to write, if your friend was struggling, how you would write to your friend. And so I'll do that. And for whatever reason, that practice has gotten me through a year. Not just, last night or whatever, a year. I was struggling a year ago over something. And I'm not going to go into detail of what it is. But, I was tossing and fucking turning. And I looked up and I said, look, I don't know, but I need your help. I can't think about this anymore. Let the last time I see this person be a good time. And I stressed how much I love God. And then I looked over and said, and you're not going to win. And I was talking directly to the devil or my disease or however you guys want to look at that. Because I love God. And then I looked up and said, please don't let this be the last time I see this person. And I had a really nice dream about that person where things were, we were laughing, not what that was. And that at that point was the last time I saw that person. Now me and that person are good friends. But the bottom line is, it got me through that. And now I've adapted that into like, let me not think about these bills. Let me not think about this person, this place, this thing, whatever it may be. And it's a practice that works for me. And even if I wake up, with broken sleep, like at like 1:15, 11:45, and then 2:15, and then 3:45, even if I do that, I'm still getting my REMs in. So they're like, it's like a night of power naps versus a night of tossing and turning, scrolling on my phone, distracting myself with TV, just so I could be like, I didn't sleep at all last night. Like it used to happen to me. So this video is for those of you who are struggling and you're having trouble sleeping. Now, sometimes I have to resort to all of that, and then I count as long as I can and breathe until that feeling of like tiredness kicks over, and then I just breathe. And then I ask my Alexa to play yoga singing bowls, Tibetan singing bowls, or rain. Those are the three things. I don't put on anything other than that to help me pass out. And so I figured I'd share that with anybody willing to listen, because I think that for me, when I didn't have those tools, that practice, I would obsess all fucking night, and I'd get no sleep, and then I'd be like angry or resentful towards myself or towards some false information. I'm really good at creating false information in my head. I got a creative imagination, and my first thought is usually wrong, right? So I have to like check myself. I do spot inventories of that when it's happening in my head. I'll literally just stop and write down, okay, how much of this is real? Like how much of this is science fiction, and how much of this is nonfiction? How much of this is fiction? Let's play it out. Let's look at the evidence. Let's look at what has been said. Let's look at what has been done. And I think in the last relationship I had, I didn't have this sensibility of it, and I learned in that relationship that I can literally create some information and then text over some bullshit, But the good news is that helped me, that helped me learn. Even though it was like really shitty, it still helped me learn. And I don't see myself like that anymore. But we'll see. Sometimes we can revert to our old selves. It's real easy because that shit is still there. We don't like kill our old selves and then it dies and withers away. Sometimes that old shit comes back. Sometimes that ghetto comes out of me, and talking to like clients and stuff, because I get real comfortable. Then all of a sudden some cuss words come out or whatever. Oh yeah, it is snowing. Right. So yeah, but for the most part, that practice helps me get sleep, and then I top it off with a gym session. Back to the fucking lab. So, exercise, I guess what I would say for whoever. That gets rid of that residual. You know what I mean? Because there's that residual. Like if you do get the sleep and you're not tripping on the thing or the person or what they said or the thought, there's still residual left. And it's really nice for me to burn it off in there with good music. Whatever style of music I decide to listen to help me. I was sharing with somebody recently that like fuck off music isn't really that great. It feeds this, but sometimes a little fuck off music isn't, as long as you're not building this resentment and this anger where you're like, then you go to work and you look at the next person and you're like, yeah, fuck off. As long as you don't go home and you look at that person and you're like, yeah, fuck off. But if it's like dessert, then it feels a little, because anger feels good. I know it sounds shitty to say that, but it feels a lot better than feeling hurt. That's why it's like my go-to. I think it's a lot of people's go-to. We feel sad. We don't want to feel sad anymore, so we feel angry, and that angry feels good because it's like a form of dope. It's instant gratification. It sucks that I have to, like, I can't use that. But at the same time, it sucked all the time I used it. So, you know, there's that. But it's that go-to. It's that pipe. It's that fucking line. It's that fucking bottle that I can't have, you know, that I don't need to be having. And so it's a secondary form of drugs for me. And I have to check it all the time. And when I want to feel like that and I put on music that fuels that, all of a sudden, it's like I'm high, you know. And I make bad decisions when I'm high. I make bad decisions when I'm fucking loaded. So I'll say it's like I'm loaded. Because I suffer from drugs and alcohol, not just fucking one or the other. And so I can easily turn a person or anger into that for me, and then all of a sudden I'm off to the races. I'm off to texting whoever at whatever time, some fucked up shit that I'm gonna have to make amends for later on down the line. And so yeah, that practice helps me not do that. That practice helps me not have this built up anger that turns into resentment, which turns into bad behaviors, which then turns into amends. And I never got to express myself because now I'm busy making amends for the shit that I did. So I'm not really working through the situation anymore. I'm now making amends because I need to make my amends. And so therefore I'm not fixing the problem. I'm now making amends. And I don't want to, you know, I didn't want to live my life continuously doing that like I have been over the last year. Like I have. You know, make no mistake, I made a lot of bad decisions this year that affected some people negatively. And so when I'm sitting here tripping over something, it also has to do with some of the shit that I did. So I got to call myself out there too. And you know, that's the whole point of this. You know, we can't walk into the woods 100 feet and expect to get out in 20. You know, the cliches. And so in this getting out of the woods, which I'll probably never really get out of, I'll just be able to, you know, walk into a different direction of the woods and find somebody that I can help walk into the right direction. Because I love living in the woods. That's why I walked in there in the first place. You know, and the woods is what felt so fucking comfortable because I was so uncomfortable on the pavement. And so I've been in the woods for a long fucking time. And in that, like, I've been out of the woods, metaphorically speaking, for what? Never. And so I just have clarity while I'm walking through it. And I see the pavement. And the light of my higher power helps me be able to see the pavement, which was paved by others who are doing what I did, who did what I'm doing, you know, figuring out how to be. Life is amazing. It's a trip, but it's amazing. You know, my father always said life is what you make it. And you know, that statement always, like, it never really stuck with me, although it was always with me, because it sounds good, but what the fuck am I making it? You know, like why do I have to do this when they don't have to? Why do I have to make the amends and work the program and do the right thing and not be a fuck off when they get to? But see, that's the thing though. If I only focus on my side of the street, my life gets better, regardless of what they do. And they can be anybody. the less I focus on them, the better my life gets. And they have ran my life for a long time. They are always saying shit. They are always thinking shit. They are always doing shit. And I am not supposed to focus on what they are doing. Because I've worried so much about what they think that I forgot about what I think, or never really got an opportunity to figure that out. And now I'm working a program that teaches me to focus on me and help them. And them meaning those who need help and want my help. I can fuck around and try to help somebody who doesn't want my help. And yeah, I'm doing a good thing. Maybe. But I'm also not being asked to help. So I'm not doing a good thing, I'm doing a bad thing. It's funny how we can think we're doing a good thing and it's bad. And it's not like it's bad, you know, it's not like the actions are bad, but they're not asking for my fucking help. I had to learn that the hard way. Like, be available when needed, not always available. I had to learn. And so, life is good. Really good today. Yesterday was fucked up, man. Yesterday was Murphy's Law. But you know, I've learned that Murphy's Law is whatever can go will go, not whatever can't go wrong. It's just whatever could go wrong yesterday went wrong. All the way to the end, man. At least wrong in my head. Like, I was just like, damn, man, that's the cherry on fucking top, dude. And it really wasn't. You know, I just catastrophized some shit and made it worse. And so today's been great so far. And it all started with, just because yesterday was feeling like really bad doesn't mean I don't have to end it bad. And so I did the practices I'm supposed to do and burnt off that residual in the gym and now on this video, by sharing about what's going on. That way when I get to work, I'm ready. I'm focused. So I'm gonna do my prayers, and I hope anybody watching this, if you've watched this for 17 minutes and 47 seconds, I hope some of this helps. Because it's helping me. Maybe it'll help you. So, good luck today. You got this.